Welcome to Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show presented by MyGunDiary.com and Drake Fine Sporting Arms of El Paso. With your hosts, Felix and J. Scott Drake. And now, here they are.
Welcome to another great episode of Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show. I am your host, Felix Mena. Alongside me, my esteemed colleague, master gunsmith, proprietor and owner of Drake Fine Sporting Arms, Mr. J. Scott Drake.
Hi.
What's happening? We have got...
That is over the top.
You think so? We've got a great show lined up for you tonight. I think our best show ever is waiting to happen tonight. And before I tell you what's on the show, the jam-packed show, I do want to say, if you follow the show, you may have noticed something odd about last week. If you watched the Facebook Live and then you watched the actual show on YouTube.
I noticed.
What had happened was
right?
That now every week that we've done the show, I've forgotten something. The first week I forgot this nice little blue LED light, not a big deal. The second week I forgot to pack the microphones in my car.
That was a big deal.
Kind of important. I had to call my dad to bring him down. And last week, the third show, I forgot something very important. I forgot, I'm embarrassed. I forgot to press record.
Oops.
On the audio. You see, I'm double checking now.
Right.
And so I called you up the next day and I said, Scott, I got good news and bad news. The good news is we're still great friends. The bad news is that we got to redo the show.
Right.
So, yeah, if you watch the Facebook Live from episode 3 and then watch the YouTube, you'll see you're wearing a different shirt and it's slightly different. But I've got it in order. So tonight, I don't think I forgot a thing.
Great.
I think I got everything.
You've got everything.
Yeah. I do also want to remind people about your giveaway. You've got a rifle giveaway.
Right, we do.
It's still going on.
Yeah, it is. And if you go to our Facebook page, the Drake Fine Sporting Arms Facebook page, it's pinned to the top of our page. So just share our promotion. You get entered into the rifle raffle.
It's a beautiful Remington 700 with your custom brake on it. And I just wanted to throw out a reminder. You shouldn't miss out on it. Hopefully folks from El Paso Pew 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 are watching tonight, because our guest tonight is none other than Barry Peterson, who is from the El Paso Pew Pew Pew, local gun enthusiast, and participates in a lot of events, shooting events in town. So he's going to be our guest tonight. And I would think that local folks would want to stop on by and put their name in the fishbowl to win.
Or just like and share, or come by, make a purchase, get something done,
Yeah, either way, go to Facebook and share it. Speaking of Facebook, I also want to remind everybody that the Facebook Live feed, which is going on right now, it's great to watch, but it's not the actual show. It's just a facsimile of the show. It's a live look at what we're doing. But to the actual completed, edited show, you got to go to YouTube or MyGunDiary.com to watch it. So just want to remind everybody. All right, so let me tell you what's on the show tonight. As always, we've got a jam-packed gun news segment with another story right here in Texas about some business owners that fought off a pair of armed robbers. We've also got a very interesting woman from Texas who was arrested in a gun road rage incident. She's just got a unique look about her. And then we've got another armed robbery story, but this time, and I'm sure you've come across this a few times, they got an interview with the family member of the armed robber who was shot, and they're upset that their family member was shot during the armed robbery, during the commission.
He was probably a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of those. And then the last story, if we have time, I don't know if maybe you're tired of it or not, but the story that just won't die is about the Sig P320. And since we talked about it last week, a couple of more stories have popped up. Very interesting. They got hit with a $7 million lawsuit filed by a police officer who was injured. He got shot, wounded, when his Sig P320 fell, discharged, and wounded him. Filed a $7 million lawsuit. And then last week you mentioned that you can make any gun discharge if you have a hammer. And I found a video of a guy hitting the Sig P320 with a hammer. And so that's in the news. And then for our gunsmithing job of the week, we've got a beautiful Mauser that we're going to look at, a restored Mauser. You did a fabulous job. And then for our gun of the week, we've got a very interesting...
really interesting gun.
An 1846 trapdoor rifle we're going to look at, a carbine.
No, not a trapdoor, but we'll get to it.
What would you call it? Well, tell me during the segment. We don't want to give it all away. And then, of course, the big segment for tonight is the You Show Me Yours, I'll Show You Mine segment about the Squirrel.
Yeah, we've got a continuation.
The Duraseal Squirrel.
Right.
Yeah, very interesting results out of that. And you'll be surprised at how that turned out. And then, of course, last but not least, our guest tonight is Barry Peterson. And with that, let's get right into the news.
This week in firearms news and current events.
So starting things off, I mentioned there's a video about a couple of business owners in Texas, Arlington, Texas, I think it was, that fought off some armed robbers. And as a business owner yourself, I always like to get your insight into how you think they handled it. Now, you are not armed when you're working here in the shop, are you?
Not that you know.
Oh, you could be. I'd like to talk to you about what your concealed carry choices. But let's show this video of these armed robbers coming into the shop here and tell me what your take is on it. So here these guys come in. Dun, dun, dun. So he jumps over the counter. He's got it looks like a revolver, and the business owners just aren't having it. They just grab the guy. Now his partner over here, this partner in crime, is not sure what to do, but he pulls out a firearm and points it. So there's a struggle going on, and not a shot fired. They don't want to let him go. Eventually, his partner comes and pulls him away. Now, of course, the response from the police is that they do not want anybody. They thought it was a bad idea for the homeowners, business owners, to try and take on the armed robbers because they were unarmed. Now, somebody walks into Drake Fine Sporting Arms, pulls a firearm. It's a what?
Yeah, I mean, how much is your life worth to you? You know, I mean, is it worth what's in the register or whatever? If it is, then go for it.
Yeah,
but
it's shocking to me, especially in Texas with the story we talked about last week. Why would you want to rob any business in Texas? Everybody's armed in Texas.
Yeah, it's not a good life choice, man, honestly.
Okay, so moving on. So we've got a road rage incident that I want to talk about. Is a woman in Texas. There she is, lovely woman in Texas, who I guess she was known to the police in her area because she had been not arrested, but had been stopped for another road rage incident. She's got a problem with road rage. Now, there's not a video of it, but there is a photo taken by the person in the other car where this woman in her, looks like a Chevy Tahoe or Suburban, is road raging and pulls a gun and points it at this other motorist. And
another not good life choice.
I guess they've identified her. I'm sure she's been arrested by now. But what caught my attention is her photo. All right. Now, this woman's got a very interesting look about her. And I was thinking to myself, I was wondering, where have I seen this photo before?
Show them the mugshot.
Yeah. Here's the actual mugshot of her. There she is. Yeah, I knew I'd seen her somewhere before.
She looked familiar.
Absolutely. I mean, just it's a spitting image. You can't miss it for sure. That's her. Let me give you another look at the one there. Yeah, there she is. And the mugshot. That's definitely her. Yeah.
It's remarkable, really.
Okay, moving on to our next story. So we've got an armed robber who was shot by a Good Samaritan. Let me close this here. The armed robber tried to rob a Family Dollar store. All right. And
I didn't mean to laugh, but I mean, you know,
what, robbing a Family Dollar?
Was he stealing money or was he stealing products? Because, like, I mean, how big are your pockets? You know, I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Let's watch the clip here, a little bit of this.
From his hospital bed at USA Medical Center, 18-year-old Adric White waits for a jail bed. The teen already has robbery charges hanging over his head from September. On Tuesday, officials believe White struck again, but this time was different.
He had the gun to his head. He had him on his knees. Drew my gun on him and I said, "Hey, don't move." At that point, he swung around, and before he had a chance to aim the gun at me, I fired.
A customer who we're not identifying was shopping at the Family Dollar on Stanton Road when he says he saw White holding employees at gunpoint. The customer pulled out his own gun and fired 5 times. While police say it was completely legal, White's family says they're angry.
If his life was not in danger, if no one had a gun up to him, if no one pointed a gun at him, what gives him the right to think that it's okay to just shoot someone?
Okay, so that's that was a shocking and just hilarious and ridiculous comment from
So that was the suspect's mom.
the suspect's mom.
Okay.
Yeah,
Trying to justify why he didn't deserve to be shot.
that's exactly right.
for holding people hostage.
And that's not the first story where
I've heard of that before, you know?
Yeah,
He
where-
was a really nice guy. He didn't deserve to get shot. He wasn't doing anything wrong. Well, except for holding people hostage with a gun.
Yeah, and it reminded me of a similar story where a criminal was shot by a homeowner, and the family
take matters into her own hands instead of waiting for police.
I don't care if she have her gun license, her rights, or any of that. That is way beyond the law. Way beyond.
Your rights are beyond the law.
Relatives of 17-year-old Trayvon Johnson are angry. The teenager was shot and killed last night by a homeowner who police say was protecting her property.
He was not supposed to die like this. He had a future ahead of him. Trayvon had goals. He was a very funny guy. He was very big on education. He loved going to school. He loved learning.
Last night, Miami-Dade police say the D.A. Dorsey Technical College student
The best
arrived
is
at
yet to
home
come. The
south
best
of
quote
79th
from her.
Street near I-95, just blocks away from where he lives. Detectives say the 54-year-old homeowner was alerted of the break-in by her security system. With officers already on their way, she rushed home to check things out, and police say she was armed.
She observed a subject exiting the home through the rear.
According to detectives, there was a confrontation and one shot was fired. Johnson was pronounced dead at the hospital.
Hey, what's wrong with her? She did not have to shoot him. There's no reason that she should have waited until after he walked out the yard to try to shoot him. She called the police already, then why would she shoot him?
Relatives say they don't believe Johnson stole anything from the home, but detectives would not confirm that.
You have to understand, you have to look at it from every child's point of view that was raised in the hood. How he gonna get his money to have clothes to go to school?
Well,
how's he going to get his money to go to school? How's he going to get his money? Yeah. You got to understand, right? How's he going to get his money? She should not have shot him. She should not. She called it. He was armed.
I think we should go back and insert the clip from the lady last week about if you're going to break into a house in Texas, I'll let you do the voice, but, you know.
It's just, you know what, in the state of Texas, if you're going to get on somebody's property, you're going to get shot. That's just the way we are.
Oh my gosh!
I know that wasn't in Texas, but
it's just very revealing to me about the frame of mind of some people that committing a crime, an armed robbery is okay, and you should not expect to be shot. That's their mindset. That's what is astounding about this, and that's what needs to change. Right? Is that mindset that you shouldn't expect to get shot if you're going out and committing armed robbery.
Right. That doesn't even compute. Man.
Yeah, it doesn't. So yeah, I wanted to highlight that story because of the ridiculousness of it. It was just silly. Hey, just real briefly. So Sig Sauer was hit with a $7 million lawsuit. The police officer's gun had discharged. It shot him in the leg, and so we'll follow this story as we go on to see. I think it's an open and shut case in terms of him getting paid, because essentially Sig Sauer has admitted that there is a problem with the firearm. Yeah, and so the conspiracy again is that's a Glock. Now we have a Glock person here, and Barry Peterson carries a Glock, so maybe we'll get his 2 cents on it later. But we're not going to go on. I don't want to spend too much time about it. But production has been halted on the Sig P320. That they are making the upgrades to it to eliminate the problem. And yeah, with that, let's just end it there. I can see by the look on your face that it's time to move on to the gunsmithing job of the week.
Right on.
It's time for the gunsmithing job of the week.
The gunsmithing job of the week is a beautifully restored Mauser that you showed me. Now, I love Mausers.
Yeah.
I've got about 8 or 9 or 10. I don't even know how many I've got. But when you showed me this one, I could not identify the make, the year, the model. I had not seen one like this. It's absolutely beautiful. So what did I do? I took some photos of it. I posted them on a Mauser Facebook group, and of course, within minutes, the experts on there knew what it was. And this ends up, it is a 1916 Spanish Mauser, a carbine that you've beautifully restored. And I'm going to pull up the before picture. And as I do that, why don't you tell me about all the work that you did to it?
Yeah, basically what we did was we didn't want to take the stock down too much. We wanted to keep that there.
All right. So wow, look at that old the stock. If I were a gunsmith, I wouldn't even know if that could be restored. You wouldn't even. That's not even the same stock.
It is. It's the same stock.
Yeah.
Right, you can restore almost anything, man.
Tell me about the work you did to it.
So this thing was rusted. I mean, it was bad, really bad. And like I said in the actual video, we could throw this picture up so people can see, just how rusty some of the parts were. And the barrel was pretty bad. I didn't throw the barrel into this picture, but anyway, kind of a before and after. But we'll throw up a.
Yeah, I'm going to take some pictures of it when the show's done under the lights so we can get a better look at it. But how bad was the barrel when it came in?
It was bad. I mean, it's still, obviously, it's going to have some pitting. We can't take the pits out, or whatever. But anyway, so we fully restored the metal. I actually just got done rebluing it last night. We restored the stock. Actually, Steven, that was one of his projects this week.
It's beautiful. And what did you use to finish the stock?
We just did a traditional linseed oil finish on the stock. And like I said, we didn't want to take all of this out. I mean, this thing, it's got an old rack number that somebody carved into it.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. It gives it a little character.
Some, battle scars here and there, whatever. We didn't want to take all that out and make it look brand new. But if you can see in the picture, man, this thing had like mold spots and all kinds of stuff going on there. So we just kind of took all that garbage off of it.
How many man hours would you say went into that restoration?
Into this restoration, we probably got maybe 8 to 10 hours of total work into it.
That's beautiful. Well, tune in to the edited show after midnight tonight, and I'm going to show you some really nice before and after pictures.
We'll get some close-ups of it and put them up in the video.
Really, really beautiful job. Well done. So whoever owns that is going to be really happy with that restoration job for sure. Hey, with that, let's move things right along to the gun of the week, and it's a very interesting carbine, and it means it's time to talk about it. So the gun of the week is a very cool. It's not a trapdoor. You corrected me. I don't know much about antique firearms, but what would you call that type of loaded firearm?
Well, it's a breech loading musket. Basically, well, it's a rifle. I mean, it's got a rifle barrel, but it's breech loading cap and ball. So you saw what I just did.
Yeah.
I pulled this little arm all the way out to the right there,
and that's just called like a cocking lever.
Well, this is actually a striker. I mean, you've got a yeah. So the way that this works is you prime it with a primer,
right, like a percussion cap.
Yeah, percussion cap. And then your ball and your powder go into the breech here, and you close this down, and it's ready to fire.
Does that take like one of those paper cartridge ball and powder, or do you load them separately?
I'm not super familiar. I think it was just drop the ball in, pour the powder, and close the breech.
Have you ever shot one of those?
No, I've never shot one, man, and I'm not super familiar with them. But it's a really cool gun. So they were designed to be used on ships where longer muskets were kind of a hindrance, or longer rifles.
That would be fun to shoot sometime. I've never shot one of those, but really beautiful gun, and they are quite valuable.
And rare, very rare. The best numbers you can come up with are they made somewhere between 1,500 and 4,000 of these total.
Now that one you've got priced how much?
This one is priced at $2,195.
But before the show, you told me that you'd seen one go for as high as what, $5,000?
It was close to $4,500, $5,000. This one's been restored, or not restored, but it's been cleaned up by somebody. They cleaned the metal and polished the brass, and I got with some curators and things like that, and they've cut about half the value off the gun by cleaning it up. But still, I mean, it's I
think it looks great. I mean,
I think so too. It's a unique piece of history, man.
If you want to see it in person, come on down to Drake Fine Sporting Arms, 4000 North Mesa Street, and it's here on the rack. And I definitely, if you like antique firearms, come on down and take a look at it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's time to get into the segment that we've all been waiting for, and that is the "You Show Me Yours, I'll Show You Mine."
You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
If you've been watching the show, you'll know that last week and the week before, I mentioned we've been talking about this Duraseal Squirrel spinner target from championtarget.com. And what we've been talking about is this, that the packaging says it's good for up to 50 caliber cartridge, or 50 caliber rounds.
Right.
And I thought when I first saw this Squirrel that it's too small. It's too small to handle a 50. It's going to be torn in half. And we made a bet, and you made some side bets, and you have a 50 caliber a rifle in the shop here, and we took it out and we put some rounds down range. And let's show the results. I think you're going to be very surprised.
I'm not, but they are.
Yeah. I thought that it would be cut in half by a 50 caliber. Jeff Axelson thought it would be cut in half by a 50 caliber.
A lot of people thought
but
it was going to be decimated.
But you thought otherwise, and now let's show everybody what happened here. We can comment as we go along. So here is the 50 caliber rifle. What brand is that rifle, by the way?
Oh yeah, you got me on that one. I can't remember what that is.
It's a massive rifle.
State Arms, that's what it is. Thanks, Steven.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it loads very interesting. You put the round into the bolt,
right,
and then you load it in that way, and that's also the way you unload it. So very interesting the way that it goes in. So you put the first rounds down range. It took you just a couple of shots to zero in the rifle, and then on the third shot, you were able to.
Let's pause for a second. This was kind of a joke, but not really. Go back a little bit.
Okay, let's go back. Your aviation helmet.
Yeah. So right before we went shooting, what did you show me?
I don't remember. What did I show you?
You showed me
I usually show you my socks.
Oh yeah, we forgot to look at the socks, but very nice today. Not white.
What did I show you? Oh, my helmet, my ACH.
No, you showed me the video of the guy's rifle blowing up and his bolt stabbing him through the neck.
Yeah. So there is a video. I'll throw it in the edited version of this, of a guy shooting this exact type of bolt action 50 cal. And his first round down range, something malfunctioned and broke, and the bolt came back and lodged in the guy's neck.
Yeah, so we're going to go shoot this thing. I've never shot it before. and Felix goes, hey, check out this video. So I was joking, and I said, I need more protection than ear pro. So I grabbed my flight helmet.
Yeah, and you shot with it, and I guess
it was kind of a joke, but I was serious, man.
It did draw some blood that day, actually.
Oh,
Whoa.
So there you go.
There's a 50 cal round. It reacted the same way as if it were a 22.
Right.
Yeah.
It moved probably less. Well, I don't know. It moved pretty good bit, but didn't go flying out of the ground. Didn't tear it in half.
Right. And there's the size hole that a 50 caliber.
My only regret is that I gut shot the poor little guy. So there's Felix.
that's a light trigger too.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting. I knew it was going to have some kick,
right?
But it was a very light trigger, and it did give me a little scratch there on the nose.
Felix got a little scope kiss, a little blood.
Yep. And here's Steve.
Did you get him?
Yep. And what was his name? This friend of yours?
This is Dr. Tyson. He's
got him.
A doctor here in town.
Got him. Yay.
Yeah, he was quite happy. Now here's the best clip. This is your wife. And I'm gonna.
There you go. You got him.
She got tattooed.
I got a scope.
But watch this in super slow motion, and you'll see the recoil that this thing generates. Yeah. Her hair went flying back, and Steve with the last shot.
We shot that thing a total of.
Yeah, we hit it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Right. And we'll pass this around to everybody in the shop here so they can see the damage or lack thereof, I should say.
Right.
Yeah. The best shot, and there it is right there, nice close-up of it. The best shot of the whole event was Steve actually put a round through your round.
Uh-huh.
It was his Robin Hood shot,
Yeah.
he called it. But I do owe an apology to ChampionTarget.com because I did not think it would stand up to the advertisement. As a matter of fact, I said, hey, that's false advertising. It can't
Yep,
take a 50
yeah.
cal. But sure enough, it took 6 50 caliber rounds.
Yeah,
and-
this thing has 6 of these through it.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
It is pretty impressive. So we'll pass that around. And with that, it's time to bring our guest on the show, Barry Peterson. If you'll come up and take a seat here and grab your microphone. Yeah, let's welcome him on with a round of applause. I mean, we've been throwing out the applause. All
yeah. Oh, give me a test 1, 2, 3 on that microphone.
Test 1,
Oh, there
2,
we go.
3.
All right, so Barry, I met Barry on a local Facebook firearms group called El Paso Pew Pew Pew, which is actually a really great firearms group. So we want to send a shout out to everybody from El Paso Pew Pew Pew. And then I also discovered that he is involved in the local IDPA, which is the International Defensive Pistol Association. And I wanted to go out and participate in that for, it's fun to do, and it's just, I want to get out and do something like that, so where I'm not just shooting at targets, paper targets. And it was a lot of fun, and so here's a clip. We showed this on the first show. And I want you to know that a very impressive finish in my first ever.
We've still
IDPA.
got to get that trophy.
Oh,
Yes.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah, there you are, Barry, in the checkered shirt. I finished in 15th place. I don't want to brag, okay?
Right.
I don't want to brag, but 15th place, and so...
There are only 14 guys there.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Now, in this video, what is your job here in this clip? What is your job there? Oh, well, let's go back here.
Well, so there I'm working as the scorekeeper.
Okay.
So as your Steve, who is the safety officer there walking behind you, once you're done, gun's cleared, holstered, range is safe, he'll tell me your time, I mark your time down, and then we score your targets for your hits.
So what is your job with the IDPA? Is it a volunteer type of thing, or do you have a title?
I'm treasurer of the El Paso Club.
Yeah, I got the purse strings.
Steve there is our president. Adam Hymas is the vice president.
Okay.
And I'm the treasurer. So all those targets that
are those positions voted for?
No, nobody would vote for Steve. No.
So how do you get to be treasurer? How do you get to be vice president of this thing?
Basically, I just sort of offered one day.
Oh, all right.
I took the safety officer course for IDPA so that I could help out with the scoring and running the squads, and then
what is kind of the idea behind the IDPA?
The basic idea is just to create sort of real world scenarios where you may have to use your gun.
Right.
We have a lot of stages that involve simulated carjackings and muggings and home invasions, things like that.
Yeah. It would be a lot of fun and a great challenge if we could get Scott to come out for one of those things. I would love to participate with you in one of those things. I'm going to do it again. I just haven't had time the last few weekends. When's the next event?
The next regular match is this weekend.
This weekend,
so
Saturday.
Saturday. We have a regular pistol match third Saturday of every month.
All right.
And then the fourth Saturday every month we do a fun match.
I will be out there this Saturday again for the IDPA. What's the website for IDPA?
I know there's just IDPA.org.
Right. And then there's a local Facebook group.
There's an El Paso IDPA Facebook group, and it's just El Paso IDPA.
IDPA, yeah. And how much does it cost to each match?
It's $20 per person. We used to have club memberships, and we just kind of got away with that.
Right.
Got done with that.
Is that something you think you'd ever do, Scott? You're not a pistol guy.
I'm not a pistol guy. I'm also not a rules guy. I'm also not an organizational guy. I'm also not paying money to shoot guy.
There are a lot of rules.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, I don't do rules and organizations.
So I'll handle it. I'll go to the IDPA.
I will go out.
How about just come out and root for me? Because I'm gonna finish at least 15th again.
You know what? If I get a chance to get away from the shop, because Saturdays I'm here, fixing guns.
Well, it kicks off at 9.
Yeah.
So you can come out for an hour or so, and I'm gonna get a T-shirt made like with my face on it that you're gonna wear, like how like at the running of the Chihuahuas, their dog owners take their dogs and then they have a T-shirt with their dog.
Right.
I'll get you like root for Felix type of thing.
Okay.
So and then the last thing, you got the El Paso Pew 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 Facebook group that you started, right? And that's been a good thing. Yeah. Now, somebody said that do you work in the firearms industry? What do you do?
My 9 to 5, I don't.
Okay.
I work part-time over at Sportsman's Elite.
Okay. All right.
Just doing sales. I mean, once or twice a month.
All right. So we'll give a shout out to Sportsman's Elite. Hey, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
For sure.
I'll be out there Saturday again, and we'll show the clip, and I'll be tearing it up again. I don't want to don't want to show up the other shooters, so kind of sandbag it a little bit there. And with that, it's time to say goodbye. We want to, of course...
We will get you that trophy, though, one day.
I am going to get a trophy that says 15th place IDPA match, June 15th, 2017. because that's just impressive. Hey, I also want to thank our sponsor, as always, of course, Cerakote Southwest. Cerakote Southwest is the only certified Cerakote applicator in Southwest Texas, specializing in custom Cerakote applications for firearms with over 120 colors to choose from. Visit CerakoteSW.com and order a custom Cerakote job today. They also offer custom laser engraving and whatnot. Have you ever had a firearm Cerakoted?
I've had 2 of my guns.
Yeah?
Yeah.
From Cerakote Southwest?
Yeah, they did
great.
My CZ-P07, and then they did an AR for me.
Yeah, well, I'll have to can you send me some pictures of those?
Absolutely.
Oh, I think I did ask you.
I sent you a couple of them.
Yeah. I'll show them. I'll drop them in the edit here. Yeah. Hey, I just want to thank everybody for joining us again. Scott, thanks for being my awesome co-host. And we'll see everybody next time for another great episode of Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show.
Stay tuned for the next episode of Straight Shooting when we take another shot.